Guys, welcome to the Real Awkward Podcast, the best damn podcast you heard today. My name is Andy.
I'm Amanda.
Oh, I'm Ash. Wow.
Did you literally forget?
I was somewhere else.
Forgot who you were, what you were? Or what
I was
you're doing?
already thinking about the topic we're talking about, and I just was not paying attention at all.
She don't give a shit about us.
I wish I knew.
Oh. Did I ever tell you about the time when I was in college?
Were you in band camp?
No.
God, okay, how old is that fucking reference? Can we officially retire that as
Can we?
40-year-olds?
Is that 25 years old?
The
How long
flute is
God
ruined.
The flute is ruined.
When I was in college, I've had bad social anxiety my whole life. And so when I was in college, I was like, you know what? I'm really tired of this, of dealing with this. So I'm going to go to a counselor. And I knew that like you could go to one on campus and it was free, right? So I go see a counselor and he sits me down and he explains to me, he's like, close your eyes and just listen. And he's talking and he's like,
Did he sound like that too?
I mean, not that wispy, but
Oh,
like
soft touch.
he basically sat me down and was like, close your eyes, relax, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like explaining to me that my body is mistaking a social situation for something dangerous, like being attacked by a tiger. And so that, like, I didn't really know like what anxiety was or anything. I just knew that I had these fears. And he was like, yeah, you're basically like, your brain is just confused. It thinks that there's a threat there. And so then what he did is he gave me a list of phone numbers so that I could call.
I'm deathly afraid of talking to anyone. Well, sure, if you just call this number, they'll help you out.
So he gave me a list of phone numbers so I could go see somebody regularly. And I was
thought
like,
you were
wow,
gonna
what
say
a joke.
that
And I walked
you
out
went
and
to
I'm
your
just
counselor.
like, what?
I'm sorry. I thought you said you were going to go. I thought you were going to say you went to see your counselor to talk about your anxiety. And your counselor was like, girl, I'm here to do your schedule.
That would suck. You would never go to a counselor again.
Could you imagine? I'm having a really hard time. I feel like I'm afraid of everything. Things are just really hard for me. I'd be like, so are you dropping a class?
Or the lady's like, I'm just ASB. I need $20 for your car.
Yeah. Like,
That's funny.
No, I'm way more aware of the situation than to allow myself to do that. But yeah, he gave me a list of phone numbers to call a doctor, and I walked out and I was like, well, that's a joke, and I threw it away.
I love that. I love that. Oh, here you go. Call some people. And everyone's been in that situation where you're like, I'm not going to fucking do that.
No.
Absolutely not.
I'm not going to do that.
So with anxiety, it's one of, I heard a guy say, and I don't know if it was a video, it may have been a TikTok, but he basically said there's no such thing as anxiety. He says there's only 4 emotions you go through, your mind goes through. You're either glad, sad, glad, sad, angry, or scared. Right?
This is spoken by someone. That man doesn't have anxiety problems.
Well, what he said is anxiety is just
They're like the
scared.
primary colors.
Like
right?
you're
Yes.
But he said
Anxiety is
that's what
like a tertiary color
He
where
goes
it's like 2
anxiety
secondary colors
is
combined.
fear.
It's fear.
It's
yeah.
just fear, which
Yes,
is the
yes.
same thing as scared. So like
And anger.
and sometimes, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess you could be upset, which could give you anxiety. I could see that. But adjacent to is what your body does in these situations, right? When you're scared, when you're afraid. And Ash and I talked about this. It's flight. You just said a new one the other day that I never heard. I always thought it was only 3.
Yeah.
Which was fight, flight, or freeze.
But the 4th one is fawn.
Fawn, which
Yeah.
I never heard that. Amanda, have you ever heard that before?
No.
So right, so in these descriptors, take them as face value because it's pretty much what it is. When you're in the face of fear, you either fight, right? You're gonna scratch and claw your way out of the situation, throw punches, whatever. You are going to run away. That's your flight response, right? You're going to get as far away from the situation as possible. You'll freeze where you don't do anything. You're just like in fear, staring deer in the headlights. And then fawn, Ash said, is where you appease the fear. So you essentially
threat.
like you agree or
you bargain.
try to bargain your way out of it instead. And I'd never heard that before. I thought that was a really unique way because I think a lot of people probably do that. Right? Because instead of freezing, you're basically negotiating with yourself how to get out of the situation, whether it helps or not.
Like how to slowly back away. Like how to slowly get out.
Right. So it seems a little bit like flight to me, but also
I would say, as somebody who is a freezer, it's not at all like that.
Interesting.
It's completely blank.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't move. Like, you don't even think about the situation. You're just, like, frozen.
So this is your freeze.
Yeah.
Like, you're just done.
Like
I
am
shut down.
I am, yes. So, like, for example, in high school, we were in science class. And my friend who was sitting next to me, she goes, "You want to know a fun fact about me? My hair doesn't catch fire." And so we've got like Bunsen burners or whatever.
Oh, no.
And she takes the piece of hair that's hanging down from her face and she lights it on fire and the flame goes up to her bun.
Oh, no.
And her bun's on fire.
Oh,
and
no.
I just stand there.
You're just like, ooh.
And my teacher like runs over and he's like patting it down with his hands to like put the fire out. It smelled so bad. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I forgot I put hairspray in this morning."
Idiot.
But literally that was the first time that I realized like I freeze. Right. I don't know what to do.
In a bad situation, yeah.
I don't know what to do at all. And so I just like do nothing.
I will say that does bleed over into your parenting style. If one of the kids are hurt, like really hurt, you definitely are like, Andy, Andy, yes.
You get very frustrated with me.
Oh,
when you're like, you act so helpless and I'm totally frozen.
Yeah, no, legit. Like yeah. So I'm like, what would you do if I wasn't here? You're like, well, guess the kids get infected. I don't know what to tell you. So that's your freeze, and you've always been that way, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So, and that was any situation that gives you anxiety or is scary, or just anytime you're confronted with anything uncomfortable is more of a freeze?
I also would say alternatively, I would flight.
Okay.
I would not fight.
Interesting.
But like, especially like social anxiety, my response is to flight to avoid the fear.
Sure.
Right?
I remember that. Do you remember when we were supposed to go to that party out on Camano Island? And I remember you were like, I can't do this. I don't want to go. I can't. This was years and years and years ago.
You went to a party in Camano Island?
Yeah, we were supposed to. Oh, Whidbey Island. Sorry.
Nope.
It was like Sam's friend invited us out to this party, this get together.
Did we not go?
We did not go because
that's
you were.
Why I don't remember.
That's the moral of the story. Is I remember we were like, we're gonna go, we're gonna do this, and you were like, absolutely not. I don't know anyone. I don't want to have to be in conversations. I don't want to have to talk to anybody. And I remember you were literally like, you would run the other direction.
Well, literally, like, I was in my friend Alexandra's wedding.
Yeah.
Forever ago now. And I wasn't friends with anybody else there. I didn't know anybody except for her. And, of course, I'm not going to be, like, next to her the whole time. She's the bride, right?
Yeah.
So after the wedding and everything, and we were, sitting down for the reception, and I'm not friends with anyone at my table. Some of them are even people from high school that I'm like, I am not friends with you. And so I got into such a panic that I literally got in my car and drove home, like several hours.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like I drove from Leavenworth.
Yeah. Like you're like, I'm out.
Yeah. I was just like,
done.
I'm out. And she was pissed. But I was like, I didn't know what to do. I was literally panicking. Like, I don't know anyone here.
Yeah.
And what's your alternative? You stay and be uncomfortable and like
Yeah.
Right.
make yourself uncomfortable just to appease her. But then, I mean, depending on, I don't know her very well, but like, you know, I could imagine that if somebody was at an event of mine that they were my bridesmaid and they were just like sitting there the whole time, I might be like, you might as well fucking gone home. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I wonder if there might have been no good option there.
Sure. But again, it's just a perceived threat, right?
Yeah.
Like there is no
Yes.
threat. It's
Sure.
just me being uncomfortable. And the one way that we've learned that's really difficult, but is exposure therapy, right? Like
Yeah, you have to go.
you have to
because you'll never.
be exposed to it so your brain can learn that it's not a fear. Like your amygdala is going to keep firing until you tell it like you don't need to fire.
yeah,
We're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that you've gotten way better too, like through
Yeah.
a long time when it comes to how you react to that stuff. So I've seen it. I've seen a lot of growth out of you, and I've seen a lot of like effort, which I know is not easy. But I mean, you make phone calls now not too difficult. Like you do pretty good. Like I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you think now, if you were to go to a counselor, you would have called, or no? Still not.
There's a reason I haven't gone to a counselor, okay?
Listen, all I'm saying
Fair.
is most of the time you can book that shit online now.
Amanda,
Yes.
talk to us. So you're in the uncomfortable situation. You're in the something crazy, fearful, or uncomfortable's happening to you. Which one do you do?
I don't know. I'm not super versed in the different traits of each category.
Yeah.
But I try to think about like if there's an emergency or something happens, whatever, how I respond. And I don't freeze, but I kind of just like I pause
Sure.
and I have to like assess the whole situation, and then I'm just like streamlined. Like I don't know, let's just say somebody falls off the curb and breaks their leg in front of me. I don't know, I'm making shit up.
Right.
I might be like, oh fuck. And then like assess and then be like, okay, I need to make sure this person's okay. I need to call 911. I need to do all this.
Right.
And I think because my brain is always in overdrive, I think I'm able to like sort everything really quickly
Yeah.
and just sort of like, okay, we need to do this, 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 and this. And so I think I'm good in a crisis, but I almost need, like, my brain needs to press pause to take everything in first.
So what would you do if you couldn't pause? Like, let's say you were being like like attacked or kidnapped, right?
I would say probably a mixture of fawn and fight.
Yeah.
And I think that because I'm a people pleaser and in circumstances where there's a dominant personality, and especially if it's like a controlling personality, my tendency is to be submissive, like in certain aspects, but I also know that that's not actually what my brain wants. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So you have an innate reaction, and then the reaction.
My
that you
my
would like to-
initial
yeah.
would be to be like, okay,
Right,
okay.
right.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
somebody puts a knife in my face, like, give me your fucking purse.
Yeah.
I might be like, we're cool.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna give you my wallet, but I'm gonna take my driver's license. Like,
Yeah. No,
But
you're
then-
right. I think that.
See, that's a good example of
that's-
fawn.
That's fawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But-
100% fawning.
But then if they are determined to just like try to stab me, then I'm gonna start hitting you with my purse,
Right.
so I can get the fuck out of there.
Right. Do you think in that same situation, Ash, you would still freeze, or you would fight a little bit? Like, because we didn't use an example that you had a knife at
No,
you.
we didn't. I'd like to think that I would fight.
Yeah.
I would like to think so.
Right.
I've thought about that because, like, as a woman, like, you're walking to your car By the way, I watched this series called I Survived a Crime the other day, and I probably shouldn't have because it's
No.
about a lot of people getting attacked, and it's like
Abducted.
all surveillance footage, and I was
Jeez.
And
like,
let me be real. Andy, consider the privilege that you have for just
Yeah.
this moment that you don't have to have a plan of what you would do if someone attacked
Yeah,
you.
dude,
Yeah.
because I'm a
Walk
white
into your
male.
car.
I got
Yeah.
all the privilege in the world.
but I'll think about it. Like if I'm like walking in my car by myself and there's nobody around or, very little people, like I will flick my key out, I'll put it between my fingers. Like when I'm at the gym, I've got my lock in my hand, right? And so when I walk out and I'm like,
I will
would
bludgeon someone.
right, I
if
will
need
bludgeon them with
to.
this lock. Like
Yeah.
I have gone through scenarios in my head where I'm like, I would fight, but I would hope that's what I would do.
Well, and it's also, I think that also for me, and I would assume it's the same for you, Ash, having a child with you also changes that.
I think
Yeah.
so
Because
too. Yeah, I agree.
I am very much kind of person where if you're trying to attack me, I might be like, here, dude, just take my shit, leave me alone.
Yeah.
However, if my kid's with me, I will fucking kill you.
yes,
like,
right. Yes,
I will kill
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's definitely changed. But I will say, like, for me, going to the idea if I was at a wedding by myself and I didn't know anyone, so for instance, at your guys' wedding, I really only knew you guys.
Yeah.
right.
And you were busy.
right.
And it's like, what's my option? I can leave. I can be uncomfortable or like whatever, or even like go into a party or something like, and you don't know everybody. Like, yeah, if I don't know anyone, just naturally, I'm going to be a little more reserved.
Right.
But, hopefully someone starts talking to you. But if they don't, I mean, I'm just going to grab a beer and like play on my phone. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that before where I've like been at birthday parties I don't want to be at or whatever, and I'm not chatting with people that much. A lot of it is try to just occupy your time with something else. For some, I'm looking for the kids' shoes and coats just to pick them up for no reason at all. You know?
just
It's
to be like, oh, can I help with anything? Can I
yeah.
To be
do
fair,
anything?
though, in a situation where you're at a party and you don't know anyone, there's no fear involved, which is the topic at hand.
Who, me?
Yes.
No, because I am a fighter. So I have always been this way. When I am scared, I get angry.
Yeah.
I get angry and I puff my chest and I say very firm things very loudly. Anytime I am confronted by someone, this has happened in like the retail environments that I used to work in, that I work in now. This happens when I am uncomfortable or in a weird spot. But I can tell you, in actual practicality, my response when that lady was beating the shit out of her daughter in that drive-through was fight.
Yeah.
That was get out of the car and go save the little girl and fight that battle. And we talked about this on the podcast. So I don't remember when we talked about this. We did, though. I
I don't
swore we
remember
talked
either
about this.
if we
but
did and talk about it in detail.
but as a quick recap for anybody that didn't hear that podcast episode, we were at a drive-through and I look in my rear view mirror and this, assuming it was the mother, was wailing on their child, like beating the crap out of them, like from the driver's seat to the back seat, just like striking the hand back over and over again. And I went over there and
No.
What?
She was striking her from the front seat and then got
Oh,
out of the
right.
car and
Sorry.
went to the back seat.
You're right. Got out of it. And
Jesus.
I went over there and I pulled the lady back, kept her at arm's distance, and then I ripped the keys out from her hand so she couldn't drive away. And this lady got up in my face and I was equally up in her face about her daughter. And the crazy part is that the daughter was screaming at me, "Don't hurt my mommy, don't hurt my mommy," after she just got done getting the shit beat out of her by her mother. Like,
because
it
that's
was
not the first time that's happened to
right.
that child.
So she was
And
used to it.
she's
Yeah.
yeah.
So in the moment, my heart's not breaking, right? In the moment, I'm What can I do to protect this child? But that is like real world scenario. I turn into like superhero Andy. Like I'm not going to let anyone get hurt. I'm not going to let anyone be abused. And I could see that, but the same thing happens with a lot of aspects in my life. I will say though, there has been times that I'm just like Amanda, where I will throw the bargaining chip out, where I'd be like, hey man, cooler heads can prevail. We can figure this out. Like we don't need to have it get this bad. Those are conversations. The people pleaser in me will work. But for the most part, it is fuck you. Fuck you, fuck everything about you. I don't know who you are, but fuck you. Like coming at me, I would get these shitty customers at Blockbuster, and did I like have the best fights with these people? But like that was me, right? I didn't freeze in the moment. I would say what I needed to say, and sometimes I regretted what I said, and other times I was happy that I stood up for myself. But that's always been me. That's always been me, is the fight.
Yeah, and what did I do in that same scenario with the mother and
freeze?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure. You were just like, I don't know what to do.
I'm just watching it. I'm just like, this is awful.
Yeah. You were just like, there's a train wreck happening right now. I don't know what to do.
Well, but also you got to think about it this way. I think that especially as parents, you both can't be the same type of fight or flight response.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because think about it this way. Because I'm assuming your kids were in the car with you.
Yes, Cammie and Remy were there. Yeah.
But so you're in your car. Andy gets out.
Yeah.
Well, if Ashley gets out too, now the kids are alone.
Yeah, right. And I remember looking at you and just being like, I think I said, stay in the car with the kids. Right.
Well, and that was my thought process too. After you got out to handle the situation, I was like, I need to be here and make sure the kids are not like witnessing something they shouldn't. Yeah. And that woman's not coming to attack us after you just like.
Well, so the story gets deeper when you really think about it. I was an idiot, right? So the officer talks to me and pulls me aside because the lady's like, I'm pressing charges on him. He put hands on me, blah, 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 right? Just like totally gaslighting. And I told him, honestly, I said, I will tell you, sir, yes, I grabbed her wrist and I ripped the keys out of her hand so that she couldn't drive away because I wanted her held accountable for her behavior with that child when you as officers got here. And he looked at me and he said, I understand where you're coming from. I think a lot of dads would have done the same thing. But in the moment when you're heated, what if she had a gun?
Yeah.
What if she had a knife? Like you went in there blazing without even thinking for a minute that your life would have been in danger. And he says, I see it all the time.
Bitch.
Yes, you see it all the time that people have these altercations and all of a sudden in her glove box is a gun and she starts shooting at you. Like, those types of situations. So that did make me step back a little bit and be like, all right, if this ever happens again, maybe I'll think a little bit more clearly. But I just saw red and I just was thinking, how quickly can I like secure this perimeter and make this kid safe? So it was freaking wild. It was wild. That's probably the most intense situation I've been in a while. I mean, this lady turns to me, Amanda, and she's all methed out, right? And like missing teeth and just like screaming at me about my daughter and I have the right to discipline her, blah, blah, blah. And the only saving grace I had is that I had a crowd of people behind me watching the whole thing. So they saw and recording it. So they saw what I did. And so that way I wasn't, taken in cuffs. Yeah. But I remember even telling Ashley, like, I don't know what's going on, but if I have to go to jail tonight, I will, because at least that little girl's safe.
I remember you guys told me. I remember you guys told me what happened, and you were like, "We don't know what's happening." Like,
I had no idea. The officer even said, if you get a call from this county number, you need to answer it. And I thought there would be a lot. I mean, this might still not be over. Like, I might still get to a point where I have to answer for what happened, but I literally
doubt it.
I could probably not, but I'm assuming that Child Protective Services was involved, or they went to the school and did a wellness check or whatever. But also that's the worst part, Amanda, is that I have a feeling nothing happened. I have a feeling that they said, you're too aggressive with your daughter. You need to chill out. And then they all got to go home together and she got to beat her again that night. Like, it's just crazy to me, dude. Like the whole thing was wild. So That's
It's
my
unfortunate.
prime example of that type of stuff. I think when it comes to different fear that I have, so let's like public speaking or something like that, I definitely get nervous. Like I think a lot, how can I get in the car and drive away? Like, so I do have a little bit of a flight response for that, but I've always kind of overcome it. So I don't know. I'm trying to think. I used to do it all the time because I'd have to talk to like school districts and sell at the old job. But
Do you think that
Yeah.
you guys have certain scenarios where you would respond with each of the different response types? Like, is there a scenario where you think you would freeze?
I may freeze if it was like an animal.
Like a bear?
Yes. I may think about
Sure.
like, what do I do right now? And I think I would look at everyone and be like, shut the fuck up. Shh.
Yeah.
Everyone shut the fuck up. Look, just don't look at them in the eyes. I think you're supposed to look at them in the eyes. I don't, you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
like with a
brown bears
don't-
and black bears or whatever.
yeah. Don't
Right.
don't shoot me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure black bears you're
Yeah.
supposed to
Challenge them. Right?
yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Is it-
Black attack. Brown, you're in the ground. Isn't
yeah,
that how
so
it goes?
yeah, black bears you attack them.
I know it sounds funny, Amanda, but I think that's
Yeah,
what it's
and
supposed
brown,
to be.
brown bears you play dead because they want the challenge of
Yeah,
killing you, and if
right.
you're already dead, they're not gonna
Yeah,
pursue you,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So
I'm just gonna like act like it's a Tyrannosaurus Rex and just like stand there like eyes closed, not moving, holding my breath. Being
That's
like,
what's crazy,
Please
'cause it's
think
like-
I'm a tree. Please think I'm a tree.
I feel like you'd have a natural response to something like that, but then with the sidebar knowledge that you're like, oh wait, with some animals I'm supposed to act differently than
Yeah.
other animals. I wonder how quickly that would like kick into gear.
Well, I think our natural reptile brain response is just like stop.
To freeze, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't be seen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't know.
wild. Well, and okay.
I don't know.
To me, sorry, Andy. To me, I
No, you're
think
good.
like same with like a large animal would be like if someone like pulled a gun on me or something.
yeah.
I think just naturally, your initial reaction would be like, like whoa, and then
Assess
You might
the
then-
situation.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like I think I don't know. I don't know. I don't see myself like immediately fighting, but at the same time, like I don't see myself being like, okay, just maybe in the shoulder. Like I don't see how I could bargain out of it.
Yeah.
And you
That's
know, you're not
I
gonna run
don't-
away from a fucking bullet.
That's I mean, the whole gun thing, I would get into negotiation. I would try to talk them down because I would think there's nothing else I could do.
Right, and then
Yeah.
you'd probably end up fighting.
I would, if they got close enough to me, I imagine if I found an opportunity, I would probably take it to try
Kick
to
'em
get
in
the
the
gun
nuts.
away.
Thing is,
yeah,
if,
or whatever.
if I think about fighting back in a situation like that, I just imagine it's like having a dream where like you're trying to run and you can't. Like I feel
Yeah,
like
the
that's how it would
slow-
be when
yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna hit you so
and
hard,
then you
it's just
turn
like,
around to run and
"Ugh."
they just go pop, pop, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts, and then I like miss, and then I'm like, oh crap.
Have you seen those TikTok videos where like it's like a martial artist and he's like teaching people how to be defensive and he like takes guns away from people pointing at him, and then it shows a guy in real life trying to put it into practical effect and the guy has a gun pointed at him, he goes to reach for it and then he just ends up in heaven, like he's like looking around, he's like, well, that didn't work out.
That's
so
exactly how I feel. It's just not gonna go the way that I think it will.
No, I fully assume if someone puts a gun in my face, I'm getting shot either way.
Yeah.
But I might just try to mitigate the circumstance.
Yeah. Just the shoulder's fine. You just hit
Yeah.
me there. That's wild. So those are situations, right, where you kind of see like the bear's coming, you got a gun pointing your head. What do you guys do?
The bear
when,
has a gun.
or if a bear has a gun.
Cocaine bear.
Yeah.
Oh God.
What would you do? Or this has probably happened to you guys. You're in the car, okay? It's freeway or highway, and you're about to hit the person in front of you, or someone's about to swerve towards you. Are you pumping your brakes? Are you swerving your wheel? Or are you just not doing anything? Are you
Yes.
just like, ooh?
All of the
Jesus,
above.
take the wheel. wheel.
Are you freezing? Like if it's about to hit, you're not going to try to get out of the way?
I would be slamming on my brakes and swerving, which would then
Okay.
put me into a tailspin, and I'd be tumbling over the barrier. This would be a disaster.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what
That's
I
why I
would do.
don't follow too close.
I
I don't trust my own instincts.
Yeah.
no, I mean, I think just you would react. Just you slam on your brakes, you try to swerve out of the way, and then just sort of like, okay,
Yep.
whatever happens,
What
happens. Hope
happens,
everybody's got seatbelt on. Like,
I feel like in the moment I'm pretty good at deciding whether I need to swerve or brake, but I don't brake very often.
No, he doesn't.
So I think what I would do is I would try to
hold
Vin
on,
Diesel that shit.
We need to
I'd try
remind our listeners
I
what lane do Ashley and I drive in, and what lane does Andy drive
I
in.
totally drive in the slow lane, dude.
Dude.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have that situation too often because you're in the lane all by yourself.
Well, this is true.
He's
Most
not-
people are swerving out of away from
don't
me.
get it wrong, Amanda. He's not in the lane by himself. He's behind the slow car
Yes.
and won't go around.
Oh, there's so
Yes.
many times that she's just staring at me probably. And she's like, bro, you're going 45
I
right
will-
now and
Oh,
a 60.
no.
I will
No,
give
no.
it I will give it a good 10-15 minutes of just trying to be like, just shut up, Ashley. Just let him drive. He's the one driving. Just shut up. Just let him do it. And then eventually I'm like, dude, you're going 45
I'm
to 70.
normally not talking, or I'm normally talking to you. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
even thinking about it. I'm just behind the other person. I'm like, whatever. And I have it set to cruise control or whatever. So I'm not even paying attention to the speed. And all of a
I'm
sudden
like,
you're like,
dude,
dude, you're going 45.
Why does it feel like we're in a school zone?
Yeah. You always have a sense of urgency in your life, though. You always want to
do.
get
I
things
can't-
done
I
fast, and
can't
you got
not.
to get
I
somewhere
just-
fast. You got to be there the soonest, and you got it right. And for me, I'm just like, whatever. Like we
I have
get
to do
there when we
everything
get there. It's okay. Like we're going on a long trip. 8 hours and 8 hours and 15 minutes, or 8.5 hours is the same to me. But for Ash, she's like, absolutely not.
No, because we
She's
can
like, "We're
cut
gonna
that
get there."
8 hours down to 7.5.
Hell yeah. 45 minutes. I'll be there in 20.
Be there.
That's
in
me,
20.
dude. Like,
To be fair, yes, you are really good at handling, like, for example, driving in the snow.
Yeah, yeah.
I
can do that.
cannot
Yeah, that
do it.
freaks
I
you out.
panic. I freeze.
Yep.
No pun intended.
Well, you do it in all weather. You could be like in a lot of rain, and you're. Over
I get
it.
hyper vigilant in the rain.
Yes, you get
Yeah.
freaked out. You do. You pulled over before.
In the rain?
Yes.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. Where I'm just like, I'm going to do this. I'm hydroplaning. I'm like, okay, I'm going to throttle off a little bit. Let's let go of the steering wheel. Like, let it just like coast through there. So many people start to hydroplane and they like try to control the steering wheel. And then that's where they lose control. You've got to just like let the car go through
I
it.
can't think that
And
fast.
you have to let off the gas. So don't, because what
Yeah,
you
I
don't
let
want
off
to do,
the gas.
you don't
Yeah.
want to keep your wheels spinning.
I know
you
that.
just want to like slide over the water. And so all you got to do is let off the gas. And you have to just not touch the steering wheel. and
let
you'll
off
be
the
fine.
gas,
That's
close your
fun.
eyes, take your hands off the steering wheel, swerve into traffic.
Yeah.
But the whole, like, when you're driving on ice and then whatever way it takes you, you're supposed to go with it.
yeah, that's hard.
My brain cannot
Yeah.
comprehend. I'm not thinking about which direction I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm
I've slid
not
on the ice
good
before.
at
It is
that.
hard.
I'm not good at that. I just try to like, even if I'm sliding, I try to just like take my foot off the gas, hold the steering wheel, but I'm not like, fighting anything.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just try to like keep, figure it out.
Yeah.
I think that I never considered myself a fawn, but I guess I'm realizing I am because in extreme weather while I'm driving, I'm not pulling over. I'm not, be like, yeah, let's fucking do this. But, like, I will, like, I manage the situation.
Yeah,
So
right,
I'm gonna,
yep.
if I'm in
Give
the
and
fast lane,
take.
I'm gonna
Yep.
slowly make my way over.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if I'm driving and I already know there's an extreme weather condition, I'm not getting in the fastest lane.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Like,
sure.
I'm
They're
already not
smart
doing that.
about it.
I'm going to
But-
go at the pace I feel safe
Yes.
to go. And if you want to go around me, you are welcome to go around
Feel
me.
free, my friend. But I'm also
That's me every
I'm
day.
gonna yeah. I'm gonna turn the radio down because that seems to help me see better.
Yeah, it does.
I turn the
It does.
radio down to try to quiet the rain.
He
Yes.
does. The road noise is too loud, and he's like, crank it
Yeah.
down a little
I
bit.
gotta
Well,
turn the road
honestly,
noise down.
because I think for me, it's I need to reduce the amount of stimuli.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get
So,
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like because I'm the driver in my family, and that's fine. But like, even in a normal sunny day, I'm driving on the freeway. I got Chris talking. I got Lincoln talking. The radio's probably on. Something was weird. Like, I'm not sitting quite right. I can feel my feet on the things. And it's just like there's
Everything.
too many feels.
Everything.
So I have to be like, I turn the radio off. And Chris will be like, do you want me to stop talking? And I'll be like, yeah. And he'll be like, I can tell. And like, I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
there's too many things that I have to focus on.
I'm the
So
captain
that's
now.
usually what I do. Like one time we went over the pass to go see Megan, and it was like wet going over the pass, but it wasn't icy or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And the forecast was supposed to be like a little rainy, but not freezing or anything. Well, as I'm making my way like up the mountain to go over it, it's like all of a sudden it starts like dumping snow. But it's like thin, like tiny little snowflakes. And so I can't see past my hood of the car. Like I can't see.
That is scary.
And so
Like
I'm like,
snow or fog. That's
I was
scary.
like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And I knew there was a car ahead of me, but I didn't know where they were. And like I could not see the road. Like I couldn't see. And so my mom always told me, like, find a lane marker or like find the solid line on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And so I must have been driving like 15 to 20 miles an hour.
I get
But I was like, not today, Satan. Like we just kept cruising. And then eventually it was like, I think I think Lincoln and Chris were both asleep. And honestly, that's my best case scenario.
Yeah.
Because I can just like drive.
And
You know
then
what I
also,
mean?
if you crash, their lifeless bodies are less likely to get hurt.
Well, and I don't have
true.
to hear, oh fuck, like, you know.
I
So
hear
I'm
that every
driving.
3 minutes while I'm driving.
I don't
with
say
Ashley. Dude, she
Excuse
grabs
me.
that oh shit handle like I'm going 100 miles an hour. Duke's a hazard
I
over
just
frickin' like a
Gasp
jump.
a lot. Okay.
Oh
Okay,
my god.
I'll be honest though. You know who drives like a maniac, who I wouldn't assume, is my mother.
Oh really?
Like, we'll be in the car together, and I prefer to drive just because I want to be in control. But like, my mom will drive, and she'll like ride in like behind somebody on the freeway, and I'm like,
Oh man.
Like-
Did I ever tell you when Robert and I went to Georgia, he was freaking out because I was driving?
Yeah.
He's like, I puckered my asshole many times,
Yeah.
sir.
And I was like, 1 point Ashley.
I do follow probably closer than I should, and I don't brake soon enough.
Yes.
But that's because I feel like I'm in control of my car, so I know where I'm at. But Ash would prefer to be further back, so she's losing her shit the entire drive anywhere we go. It doesn't matter. It could literally be like I'm even driving slow, and she'll still like grab the oh shit handle and gasp. But then what's funny is what she thinks she's doing for herself is protecting herself. But what I do is I'm holding the wheel looking forward, then I turn towards her and I'm like, what? And then I'm not looking forward anymore. And that's when I almost hit shit.
But that's what he thinks. He thinks that my response is like calculated. And I'm like, no, that's literally my body being like, fear, fear, fear.
I know.
Like,
It's so distracting
just
though. It's
an
so
automatic
hard.
response.
It is. It's like I have a dog next to me, and he's just barking in my face. It's really
Then maybe
awkward.
correct yourself and I'll shut up.
oh,
Stop doing it.
See, it's hard for me because like, if I'm with someone, I at least have the presence of mind. I'll be like, brakes, 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 brakes. Like, but like Chris will just be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And
Yeah,
you're
that's
just
what Ash does.
What the fuck? Like, what is happening?
I've got 2 words: duct tape. Sorry,
Duct
tape. Actually, there is tape called duct tape, so it's
I was gonna say,
confusing.
there is duct
okay?
tape, so eat
it
it.
is confusing.
But I can still go,
Yeah, that's fine. At least it's a lot quieter. So I got one last question for you guys when it comes to fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Do you guys hyperventilate? Do you get hot and sweaty? Do you look at the ground, look up, like not make eye contact with people? Like, what is your body? Like, we understand what you want to do, but what's initially happening inside you? Like, are you getting that pit in your stomach and you're like, it's turning? Or is it more of like I just got to get out of here. I'm stressed.
sorry, I can hear you.
Here, Lincoln.
I know it's all right.
I
know
would
what the fuck you're
say initially I get really warm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like red, like
I get
flushed.
flush.
Yeah.
I don't know if I truly get flush. I don't look at myself in the mirror when I'm panicking.
Yeah.
But in general, I will get really warm and like super fidgety.
Okay. Got the shakes.
Yeah, like clammy hands.
Yeah.
Like
I get
yeah.
you. I feel like Amanda, even when she's stressed, would be like calm and collected. Like I don't feel like a bead of sweat would drop down her brow. Like she would still be like chill. But then later she'd be like, "Oh my fucking God, that was the worst thing in the world."
Okay, I will say that just my whole life has led me to this moment. But so basically, like at work, like if I'm freaking out about something, I'm able to like keep it together. Like if somebody had like one time, I'm like looking at someone's hair and there's like fucking a million lice in the back of their head.
Oh,
and
yeah, that's
in
rough.
your like in your mind, you're like. But then in your mind you're just like but then at the same time like you got to keep it together. So
Yeah.
I'm just like I'll be right back, and then you go in the back and you're like, oh my fucking god. But usually what happens like in a stress situation, a high stress situation, I'll get kind of warm and maybe my face will get a little bit flushed, but usually I always say like my heart dropped into my butt. Like I just feel
Yep.
that like
Yep.
dump, like that drop.
My heart is more like pounding out of my chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine just feels like I don't know, like there was a weight up here and now it's on my hips, like and it'll eventually go away, but like yeah, like that's what it feels like.
Like that sinking feeling.
Yeah. What about
I-
you, Andy?
I think I'm more like, I feel like my ears, like I'm a cartoon character. Like my ears get hot and then they're just going to start steaming like out the side of my head. But
Fair.
that's where I feel like where mine is more fight because I'm angry. So I get that like aggression,
Oh,
like
okay.
like veiny eyes and ears are like ready to like I
You
have
got the vein in your forehead.
Yes, I have that feeling when I'm like being challenged by someone. Like I think that's very much so. I don't really get like a pit or the nervousness. I'm more just like, oh, fucker, you piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. I'm gonna sing. I'm so mad right now, you know. But yeah, that's probably where I'm at.
Cool.
So to close us out, what advice do you guys give to people to help with these fight, flight, or freeze, thaw situations? Well, good luck. See you guys later. Big gulps, huh?
Yeah. Good luck.
I mean,
I think, can you even really give advice? Because I think it's just like your body's natural reaction to things. Like, can you even really change that?
Yeah.
yeah.
like-
Well,
Yeah.
you can because there's a logic factor, right? Like like I mentioned earlier, there's threats and there's perceived threats.
Yes.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So, yeah, if you're threatened because something is truly threatening, do you?
Yeah.
Like your body's going to do what it can to protect you in the best way you know how. If you know something is not a threat, don't fight it, just be uncomfortable. Because your
Yeah.
amygdala is stupid.
Yeah.
And it tricks you because it gives you adrenaline when it thinks that there's something wrong. And you think that an anxiety attack is going to kill you, and it's not. So just feel it and get through it and move on and continue to do that. And that's all I have.
I think it's really good advice because I know my cool down time takes a long time. Like I'm still angry and upset about things like hours later because I think I could have done this. I could have done that. And I like replay the scenario in my head over and over again. And it re-aggravates the same feelings that I had. And so, yeah, if I could give advice, just like let stuff go if you can. Just let it
Be
go.
one
But
with the
that's-
wind and sky.
Yes. Yes. When you feel like fighting or flighting or freezing or farting. Or farting?
farting.
Just let it go.
That's the fifth. That's the fifth
Just
F.
let
That's the fifth
it
one.
go.
Just let it go.
Let it go, baby. I think that for me, like,
I see a skit in the future.
yeah, you
Sorry.
do.
It's what
I
I do
think
when I'm
it's-
scared.
I think for me, like, one of the things if I'm really stressed out or like anxious or whatever in a situation, like kind of akin to what Ashley said, it's kind of like I just tell, like, if I have to talk to myself and say self, but like, it's kind of one of those, this isn't forever.
Yeah.
This-
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a temporary
Right.
feeling.
Yep.
This
Yeah.
will pass, or even the situation that is causing me anxiety will end.
Yeah.
And like sometimes Chris gets mad at me because I say this a lot, but I'm like, it's not that deep.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just your body playing a fool and your brain playing a fool, and it's not that deep. It's just something almost overreacting to try to be upsetting. And just like finding a way to remember in the moment. And it's hard, but trying to find a way to remember in the moment, this is not forever. Helps.
This soon too shall pass.
Also, like,
I mean, essentially, right?
on the same note, like Andy and I have talked about catastrophizing before.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like part of anxiety, right? Not necessarily the fear, but well, it is fear, really.
Yeah.
It's the fear of the future or whatever.
Right.
And the practice that because he catastrophizes a lot.
Sure do. Sure do.
But
So
if
does
you,
my husband.
if you go through the practice of like, what's the worst that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And then when you answer that, well, then what's the worst thing that's going to happen after that?
Yep.
And then what's the worst thing that's going to happen after that? And
Yeah.
you realize that like, it's not actually a mountain. It's really just a molehill.
I did that exercise with my sister, and like it worked.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, yeah, I guess that's not the worst
Right.
case scenario. In fact, most of the time you start to get to the consequences are actually healthy and good for you.
Right.
Many times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Cool, man.
Hey, ladies,
Hey.
you want to hear a joke?
Yeah. Can you lighten this up a little bit?
Yeah, okay.
Make it
Shake
good.
it out. Shake it out. Ugh, here we go. So, listen.
I'm listening.
Listen.
I'm listening.
If R2's name shortened is R2D2 and Chewbacca's is Chewie, Anakin's is Annie, what is Luke short for? A stormtrooper.
I knew that one.
I don't get it.
So he said it wrong. So it's
Oh.
if R2D2 has the nickname, or if R2 is short for R2D2 and Chewie is short for Chewbacca and Annie is short for Anakin, what is Luke short for? And there's a quote in the movie Star Wars where Princess Leia goes, "Aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?" And it's Luke Skywalker, which you would know if you gave a shit about Star Wars, which you don't, and that's fine.
He's short for a stormtrooper. Oh.
Yeah.
Do it again. One more for me.
Do you get it now? Do you get it now?
I get it because it was just explained to me, but
Jokes are funny when you have to explain them.
No.
Dang it.
No.
Hey, Amanda, if people want to rate how bad that joke was, or they want to talk to us about their fight, flight, or fart modes, where can they do that at?
You can talk to Andy about his fart modes and his joke delivery at our Instagram at Real Awkward Podcast.
Yay. Well, hopefully we'll see you later, alligators.
Yes.
Yes.